Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 230 of Tech It Out. Hope you're having a great day today, and thank you for making Tech It Out a small part of it. Hey, if you're on social media, come by and say hi. Let me know what you're doing, what you're up to, if you've got any tech questions, or if you want to follow me for my tech tip of the day. I'll spell my name in a moment, but I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. It's Mark with a C, Saltzman. Hey, we have a great show planned for you today. We're going to kick things off in a moment with the San Francisco 49ers functional therapist about a new health device for the home. We'll chat with Atmosphere about its free TV service for businesses and how it now includes TikTok content. Want to get rid of old camera gear or video equipment? Make some money with it with Mpb.com or find photography hardware for less. And finally, we'll be joined again by a friend of the show, Randy Carpenter, who leads Nexit. This is a navigation app that doesn't just save you time, but money as well, as we'll get to later on in the program. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. I'll tell you more about them shortly, but let's officially kick off a fresh new Tech It Out with our first interview. Any 49ers fans in the house? Well, we've got a special guest on for this segment who helps to take care of the team. It's Tom Zheng. He's the San Francisco 49ers functional performance therapist to talk with us about his work with the NFL team. And we're going to also talk about pulsed electromagnetic field therapy and a device that you could have in your home as well called BEMER. We have Tom with us to chat for the next few minutes. Good to chat with you, Tom. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, awesome. And I know we're recording this interview midweek. So for the listeners out there, if you're hearing this before Saturday night, January 22nd, you know the 49ers are going to face off against Green Bay in the NFC divisional playoff. So good luck to the team, Tom. And if you're hearing this after Saturday night, as many stations air this on a Sunday or even on a Monday, then I hope you guys did well. But thanks for your time, Tom. I know it's a busy week for you.
For sure. Hey, no problem at all. It's a pleasure to do it.
All right. Now, before we talk about BEMER, talk to us about your role as a performance therapist for the 49ers.
Sure. So I've got a little bit of a varied background. Primarily, I work with the players in corrective exercise and biomechanics. So let's say a guy comes in who's had a history of a sprained ankle, right? He might not be moving the same and loading the same left or right. So I do a full movement analysis of him, and then I come up with a program to help him correct that so he can move more efficiently, perform more efficiently, and hopefully decrease his risk of injury. My educational background, I have a master's in applied exercise science. My undergrad is in biology and psychology, and I'm currently working on my PhD in human health and performance. The other side of what I do for the players is I help them a lot with their recovery programs. So that's where things like PEMF come in. I find things that help them basically shorten the recovery time, hopefully make them feel better, and improve their performance on the field.
All right, so PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, which we'll get to in a moment. But at a high level, Tom, is tech becoming more of an important part to help professional athletes?
I do believe so. It's kind of like how the world is evolving on its own. Like if you compare the NFL to 25, 30 years ago, primary mechanism of decreasing inflammation is just ice and rest, right? You sprain your ankle, you elevate it, you put a bag of ice on it, and then you just let it rest. Well, as technology improves, as well as we do more research on how the inflammation cycle works in the body, we come out with a lot of different products that can help decrease that same inflammation and cut the time in half, as well as provide a better rehabilitory process. So in terms of tech, you might now see, instead of just a bag of ice, the player with the sprained ankle will be hooked up to a Game Ready, which has cooling and heat, which helps regulate the blood flow into the area and get more fluid out, You might see a player with sore legs, instead of just resting or just putting compression tights on, get in something like a pair of Normatec boots, which gives somewhat light compressions to multi-segmental portions of the leg to help with lymphatic and blood circulation.
Very cool. So now talk to us, Tom, about pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. And understanding many of our listeners, we don't have a medical background here, so break it down for us.
You got it. Okay, so the biggest thing is pulse electromagnetic field therapy is FDA approved, which gives it a really good amount of backing. What it is, in essence, is it's very low frequency magnetic fields that your body is exposed to, which influences how your cells behave. So anytime you have a dysfunctional cell, which might not be giving you the output or performing like you want it to, the PMF regulates that and it improves cellular production, which has a improvement or a benefit in regards to inflammation, wound healing, blood circulation, as well as there's a couple of studies that have said it can improve like immunity response.
All right. So this is the product BEMER. It's spelled BEMER, that people can have in their home. Talk to us about what it is exactly and how you got involved with them.
Sure. BEMER uses a specific frequency and waveform that primarily focuses on improving circulation. So it uses something, it influences something called vasomotion, which is how your blood vessels, big or small, contract and dilate. So it improves overall circulation and it helps with the oxygen-rich content in the blood that it delivers to your muscles. A large portion of my job, like I mentioned before, is helping the players in whatever capacity I can with recovery, right? There are several pillars of recovery that you kind of think about when you think recovery. One, it's good quality sleep. There's nothing in the world that can beat a good night's sleep. I think everybody would agree with that.
Amen.
The second one is proper hydration and nutrition. You can only perform as well as you feel, right? The third pillar, I would say, is circulation. If you have poor circulation, that can impact many facets of not just performance, but overall health. It could lead to more soreness, fatigue, discomfort, inflammation, everything like that. So in 2019, we got a couple of units of BEMER. I tested it out with the players. It's very passive, so that's a big plus for the NFL players, just because you can do twofers on it, right? Time is very limited, so any passive intervention that can help you out in the short and long run, everybody's usually very game for.
All right. We are chatting with Tom Zheng. He is performance therapist for the San Francisco 49ers. And he's also working with a company that has this product, BEMER, BEMER, for the home, that uses pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. So, Tom, is this really just for athletes, or can anybody benefit from this technology? And what separates BEMER from other products that may be similar?
That's a great question, Mark. So, no, it is not just for athletes. I think everybody can use better night's sleep, better hydration, and better circulation. A lot of chronic issues, in my opinion, that develop as we get older can stem from poor circulation. So this is one way that everybody can stay a little bit more healthy and a little bit more energetic. So it's not just for athletes. At the base level, we're all really the same. You know, we're all human beings. We can all benefit from a little TLC. BEMER is a little different in regards to the specific frequency they use. So I don't know the exact number, but there's been research on 30, 40 some odd different types of frequency. Each different frequency affect different cells, like bone cells, muscle cells, smooth muscle cells like your organs. What BEMER specifically focuses on is it uses a pulse that is similar to think about how your heart would beat. So it uses a similar pulse to help your body contract and dilate your blood vessels so that it smooths the amount of blood going through your veins and arteries, which helps improve circulation and decreases the effect of inflammation.
All right. Before we wrap up, Tom, walk us through how it works exactly. Like, how big is this unit and how do you apply it to yourself?
So The unit itself is very small. It comes with several different attachments. It comes with a mat you can lay on, which I am a personal fan of. It also comes with a spot and a strap that you can put for more isolated areas. Like, let's say your calf is really sore, right? It's tight, it's sore. You can wrap the belt around it, and that'll help improve the circulation and decrease a little bit of that mild soreness. You can travel with it as well. It comes with a battery pack. It's not very big. It's probably the size of, let's see, if we have any gamers out there, it's about half the size of an Xbox.
Okay, got it. That's talking my language. So I got that.
There
Okay,
we go.
cool. Yeah, and I could see the appeal to this. My wife, for example, is a personal trainer and fitness instructor, and she's always got sore muscles, so something, I know you said it's not just for athletes, but it sounds like there's wide appeal here. How much does it cost, and where can we learn more about BEMER?
Sure. BEMER starts at $4,990, so $4,990.
Wow.
You can check out a lot of the information on life.bemergroup.com.
All right, life.bemergroup.com. Obviously a premium price, but I hope it does well for you. And it's been great chatting with you. Tom Zheng from the San Francisco 49ers, therapist for the team.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate you having me here.
Cool sounding product, but it sounds like you have to be an NFL player in order to afford it. Anyways, when we return on Tech It Out, Atmosphere chats with us about its free TV service for businesses, which now includes TikTok content. Hear all about it when we return. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. This show is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Now, while Atmosphere is a B2B company, as they're the world's leading streaming TV service for businesses, no doubt you've seen their programming when in a public space, as they offer a ton of content to suit varying preferences. And the company has made some headlines earlier in January for some huge partnerships, including one with TikTok. Joining us for a chat is Leo Rezig. He's CEO of Atmosphere. Welcome to the show, Leo. Good to chat with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mark. Happy to be here.
Sure, and congrats on all the coverage you've had lately. It's an exciting time, no doubt, for the company. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Why don't we just jump in at a high level? What is Atmosphere all about?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, we're the leading streaming platform for businesses. And what that translates to is we create better TV for businesses. And our thesis is that TV for business isn't broken. It was never right in the first place. Most of the content on cable, you need audio to enjoy. And about 99% of businesses that have televisions on do not have the audio on. So we program content for an audioless experience. And we take it a step further, and we actually offer our content for free, which gives us a big leg up against expensive cable.
Wow. Is the revenue model sort of ad supported? Is that how you can afford to offer your content for free to businesses around the world?
Exactly. We run ads. It's just what's old is new again. So, when TV started, it was free ad-supported television, and now we're doing the same thing for businesses.
Okay, great. And what are the kinds of places that people would see Atmosphere television content?
Yeah, so we're in just shy of 20,000 venues right now. Most of those venues are in the U.S. And we started with a channel called Chive TV, which is, themed compilations of amazing viral videos and lifestyle videos. So most of our content plays really well for that specific channel in bars or restaurants. Out of 20,000 videos, about half of those are bars and restaurants. But we're creating content and channels for every industry out there, from gyms to vet clinics, medical offices, auto repair shops. We program content specifically to the venue and the customer within that venue.
Okay. And you mentioned Chive TV is one of your brands. With that in mind, what kind of content do you provide? You hinted that you can tailor it to the business as well. I know you have partners like America's Funniest Home Videos, rest in peace, Bob Saget. So talk to us about some of the partners that you've had to date. Yeah,
so basically, we have two types of channels, owned and operated. These are channels that we program internally, and then partner channels, like you mentioned, with America's Funniest Home Videos. And now we've recently brought on TikTok. But the programming formula for all the channels is 100% curated. So nothing is UGC. These are UGC videos that are curated, if that makes sense. And then we basically get non-exclusive licenses to 100% of the content. Sometimes the owners of the videos that create them do get paid. Other times we barter in return for exposure for those people who are trying to gain more followers on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the likes. Long story short, we take the best of the best on the internet and viral social platforms and compile them into themed compilations across all of our genre channels.
Okay, awesome. So it could be traditional television content, as you said, as well as digital media or social media. And with that in mind, talk to us about your TikTok partnership, Leo. We are chatting with Leo Rezig, CEO of Atmosphere TV. That's a big announcement, no doubt.
It is. It's really big for us, and it's really a big deal for them, for TikTok as well. Obviously, they earned the crown of the largest website in the world last year, beating out Google, which I don't think any of us thought was possible. And to that end, they are very much aware of the opportunities to get more of a user base for TikTok. And they viewed Atmosphere as a platform that pushes its content in front of the masses in the wild, in the third space, in these businesses. And so the content's great, it's engaging, but really it's one giant advertisement for TikTok, and they're hoping to gain new users from viewing the content on these TV screens, as well as kind of quote unquote tapping the shoulders of existing TikTok users to use their app more often.
Awesome. Now, whether it's TikTok or some of your other partners, I think you've got Red Bull, right, and X Games and all that. If the volume is down, because you already said it could be audio optional, how do you enjoy that content? Is there captions?
We curate content that can only be enjoyed and understood without the use of audio.
When I said physical, I meant like physical comedy, like Just for Laughs had these short videos of like pranks.
Exactly. There's no shortages of trips to the ER from some of the videos that we do put up. But I will say it's all family-friendly content.
Which you can then watch while you're in the ER, when you're waiting to be treated.
Which is funny because we do distribute to quite a few hospitals. They choose to play a channel called Happy TV. Judging by the title, you can imagine what you get. Not a lot of injuries from that channel.
All right. I know a lot of my listeners run a business. So how did they get going then, Leo?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, other than the service is free, we pride ourselves in basically out programming traditional cable. And so we do have multiple channels for every type of business in which their customers can enjoy the content. And then atmosphere.tv is where anyone can go and they can literally self-sign up on the website. We're not like a cable company where we roll a truck and install a satellite dish. We send our customers a free Apple TV as the set-top box, if you will. And really they just plug it in and connect to their Wi-Fi and they're off to the races.
Wow. All right. Atmosphere.tv. We've been chatting with Leo Rezig, CEO of the company. Congrats again on your successes, and I'm wishing you continued success in 2022. All the best. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mark. Looking forward to speaking again. Appreciate your time.
When we return on Tech It Out, find out how to make money on your old photography gear and videography equipment with mpb.com. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, an online platform for used photography and videography equipment. mpb.com is a destination for those looking to either sell their unwanted gear, like cameras, lenses, and accessories, for those who want to trade up equipment, or for those looking to buy used gear. Now, joining us from MPB is its founder, Matt Barker, who we've reached across the pond. Hi, Matt. Hope you're well. And congrats on your 10th anniversary of MPB last year.
Hi, Mark. Thank you for having me on the show. Yeah, it was 10 years last year. You're right, which has been brilliant. Yeah, founded the business.
And I know that you expanded to the US a few years ago as well. You're headquartered out of Brooklyn.
Yes, we're in Brooklyn in New York. We've got a great team down there. We've been based there for the last 5 years.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So at a high level, what is MPB all about?
Sure. So MPB is now the largest platform. So the largest platform on the internet for photographers, videographers, filmmakers to buy, sell, or trade in their gear. So that could be anything from a entry level DSLR kit for maybe $100, right the way through to very high-end cinematography equipment, filmmaking equipment, and so on. So there's in total about 7,500 different products that can be bought and sold on the platform.
Oh, wow. And what would you say makes MPB stand out compared to other platforms that are similar?
Sure. I think there's a couple of things in particular. Firstly, and importantly, we have the biggest choice of gear now of any platform out there. So breadth and depth of inventory, choice of different price points is really critical in terms of what makes us stand out relative to others. We are the largest, and therefore we do have the greatest choice. I also think for people looking to sell rather than to buy, that plays into that as well. So, we tend to offer against the greatest range of kit. We buy and sell lenses that are up to kind of 25 years old on the platform. So we cater for a really, really broad audience of content creators for selling and buying their kit. So really breadth, choice, range of kit, both for buyers and for sellers. We very much stand out on those terms.
And that kind of answers my next question, Matt, which is, who is MPB for exactly? So you don't have to be some sort of high-end shutterbug. It could be even for hobbyists, right?
Absolutely, yes. So, MPB was born originally in the UK and very much focused on the photographers market. Over the years, as we've expanded to the US and to the rest of Europe, we've also expanded the customer that we cater for. So anyone from someone beginning their photography journey for the first time, we cater for them right the way through to professionals, as you say. But we also very much cater for videographers these days. Anyone getting into videography right the way through to people who earn their living from filmmaking. And in the broadest sense, therefore, I would define our customer these days as any content creator, anyone who's outputting, creating content, and we cater for them in terms of their needs for gear from any price point that might be.
Okay. Now, there's probably literally billions of dollars of photography and videography gear sitting in people's drawers and closets collecting dust. What would you say to those listening right now if they're, for some reason, holding on to this? Even if they receive something new over Christmas, they don't want to part with, a 2013 Canon Rebel T5i or something.
Yes, you're right. There is literally billions of dollars worth of kit out there. Globally, that number is about $100 billion in actual fact.
Wow.
Of kit that is out there. Some of that's being used. Around 5% of that gets bought and sold and traded each year, but that means 95% of it is not. And certainly that 95% is not being fully utilized. We very much exist to ensure that that gear that's sat there gets recirculated, finds a new home, and therefore gets utilized. So I would encourage anyone who has any form of interchangeable lens camera or lens that they're not really utilizing to really consider selling that item. And one of the main reasons for that as well is also the fact that there will probably be a lot more value in that item than that person may first think. These bits of kit, particularly lenses, they have real longevity and they really do retain their value over time. So, we are able at MPB to really unlock that value on a great range of gear. I would very much encourage someone to come to the platform and find out what their gear is worth.
I had the privilege of chatting with your US colleague, Tammy Oler, who's head of brand marketing for MPB in North America. And she said the same thing, that a lot of the reaction when people sell their gear is that they were expecting it to be worth less than it really was. They have this, what she calls this antique roadshow moment, where they're really pleasantly surprised at how photography gear can hold on to its value over years. Really great stuff there. We are chatting with Matt Barker. He is the founder of MPB. I'm assuming, by the way, that MPB is your initials. Is that a wild guess?
It is my initials, but it also referred to my photography bag, which was my first. Oh, I started on eBay a long time ago.
Cool. Well, look at that, double meaning. So we are chatting about how you can buy, sell, or trade up your photography or videography equipment. Again, for those who are looking to sell their equipment and they're listening right now, walk us through the process. I'm assuming they fill out a form first and they identify like what brand they've got, what year, and the condition of their equipment. Is that fair?
Yes, that's right, Mark. So On mpb.com, for your listeners in the US, they will come to the platform, click on the sell button. As they type into that form, it recognizes what they're typing and will match it against our database of 7,500 different models that we will purchase. And there's a simple 1 to 5 condition grade that they can choose from as new condition through to well-used condition. And our platform will then automatically give them a price there and then for that bit of photography equipment. And we will send out a FedEx label, and that item can then go in the post to our site in Brooklyn. Upon arrival there, it takes around 1 working day for that item to be processed, and then we do a straight transfer of cash into the seller's account.
And again, you will assess the quality of the equipment, and it could be exactly what the person got as a quote. It could be more, or it could be less, of course. But that sounds really straightforward. And then finally, Matt, for someone who's reluctant to buy something previously enjoyed, let's say, on a platform like MPB, is there any kind of warranty that you offer?
Yes, absolutely. So as you said earlier, when people sell to us, those items are fully checked, tested, and verified, individually photographed. So then when those items are then bought, we offer a 6-month warranty on that item as well.
All right, 6-month warranty. mpb.com is the best place to go. Matt, it's been great chatting with you, and I wish you a happy and healthy 2022 and prosperous one.
And the same to you, Mark.
Thanks. Learn all about the Nexit navigation app and how it can save you money, not just time, when we return on Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. This show is brought to you by ASUS, the company that creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops. It's ZenBooks, which are super innovative. They're VivoBooks. These are great all-around and colorful laptops. StudioBooks for content creators on the go. ExpertBooks for more of a business class laptop, and Chromebooks for students and anyone else looking to save a bit of cash, yet still have an exceptional experience. Head over to asus.com/US/radio for more info. For the past month or two, I've been chatting about a more intelligent navigation app to consider for your smartphone for all your road trips or even when you're on foot, and it's called Nexit. That doesn't just focus on the destination, but helps you on your journey as well. Thrilled to have back onto the show, Randy Carpenter, CEO of Nexit. Welcome back, Randy. Good to chat with you, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Mark. Nice to be with you as always.
Now, last time, Randy, we talked about how Nexit is a platform, not just an app. And I want to get more into that and where you're heading into 2022, as well as topics like how Nexit can help save you money, some user stories that I've asked if you could share today, and how advanced your search is. So we're going to get to all of that. But before we get granular, Randy, please give our listeners a high-level summary of Nexit. What's the app all about, the platform?
Yes, thank you, Mark. From the high-level view, Nexit is a mobile navigation platform that integrates voice-activated turn-by-turn driving direction and allows the user to customize and personalize preferences all along a journey. Now, the unique part, whether you're driving or on the trip or in the city, as you mentioned, we use multi-search, multi-layered options. Example, let's say you're out on the road, and again, whether you've pre-planned or you're just driving, and you need a hotel and you enter, let's say, Hilton, whatever your brand is. So there is a couple of keywords in Nexit. It says add more. So we punch the add more button. The Hilton under $200, add more with an indoor pool, add more a McDonald's with an indoor playland, add more a pharmacy, an AT&T store, etc. I mean, you get the idea. You can add as many as you want, and Nexit will show you where they all occur at the same exit on your journey. Now, what Nexit will do is show you where all of your preferences occur at the same exit, or you can integrate the stops all along the way. It's customized by you, however you want to see it, with the amenities and budget guidelines you determine. Mm-hmm. You know, we were talking about multi-layer, multi-search. We looked at brand, we looked at price, we looked at amenities in that example. So whether you're in the city or driving It gives you relevant information.
And you call that Trav Match, right? Where you can add all those add more variables.
Absolutely.
Right. And some are tied to the hotel. Like you said, imagine you're staying at, I think it was a Hilton as your example, under $200 with an indoor pool. But other things, like you said, McDonald's and an AT&T store or a pharmacy, that's obviously where you want it nearby, or at least the same exit, not in the same hotel, just to be clear.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, we've talked about Nexit as a platform and the unique features and benefits it offers. But this time, Randy, I want to explore some of the user stories that I know you've collected. One of the features that we've talked about, for example, is finding the cheapest gas in your area. That's super handy and relevant. What are users saying about that?
Yeah, Mark, I love to talk about how Nexit is unique as we have, but the best part is talking about our users' experiences. I hear from them all the time, and I had a few printed out for us today to share. The first one, this is from Gina, a recent college graduate. She was planning a cross-country road trip over Thanksgiving to visit some college friends she hadn't seen since graduation. So she is writing this. One of the things that's hard after you graduate is that many of your closest friends end up going to other places to start their careers. I decided to head from Texas to California to visit two of my best friends who both went to California after school. Being a new graduate and working at my first job, I'm on a very tight budget. Even opting to drive rather than fly, I still had to adhere to a tight budget while on the road. I had heard about the Nexit app from a friend, and I'm so glad I did. Nexit really helped me stay on my budget while I also stayed on course. I was able to plan when and where I fueled up based on what was the best price for gas. I saved so much money on gas, I even saved 37 cents a gallon one time because I was able to see the prices were cheaper right here rather than a couple of miles up.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to specify hotels under $120 with an exercise room, which I like. And best of all, Nexit never took me off my route. Now, that was Gina going from Texas to California. And stories like that really give us great satisfaction because we want to take the navigation space to the next level.
And I know you've talked about Nexit's unique search abilities a bit already today. What's been the feedback on that?
Here's one from the Thompson family who found themselves having to cancel and change vacation plans during the pandemic. Obviously, more and more people are driving. But here is Phil Thompson writing to us. We had a big family trip planned for last summer to Disney World, but we obviously had to cancel that. Our kids were very disappointed, of course. And since both my wife and I work long hours, family vacation time is very important to us. So we decided to take advantage of a cabin offered by a friend and get away for a little R&R this fall. On the way, we realized we had forgotten our daughter's prescription, and we were more than 200 miles from home. We had set up our trip with Nexit to plan our route to the cabin and find the cheapest gas on the way.
Okay, a bit of a cliffhanger as we just need to put a pin in that for a moment, Randy. When we return, we'll hear the rest of that story and more about the free Nexit app that doesn't just save you time but money as well. Stick with us. More Tech It Out coming right up after this.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We are chatting with Randy Carpenter, CEO of Nexit. This is a free navigation app that you can download to your iPhone and soon Android. It will not only help you get from point A to point B, but save money and even book reservations and such along the way, right from within the app itself. Now, before the break, Randy, you were sharing some reader mail about an incident where a family left to go on a road trip and they realized they forgot a script for a prescription. Please let us know the rest of that story.
Absolutely. My wife noticed there was a CVS coming up in about 10 miles, and that's where we have our prescriptions back home. So it gave me an idea. I had my wife call the upcoming CVS, talk to the pharmacist. He then talked to the pharmacist back home, and they had the prescription ready when we pulled in.
Oh, that's great.
So that is the Nexit proprietary Trav Match in action for our users. We're thrilled that they're discovering things, they're finding out what they need and want on the road, and they're saving money.
We've been talking mostly about being on like a highway, a freeway, what have you, an interstate, but there's also Trav Match in your existing city as well.
Absolutely. We had a couple of really good emails about New York City over the holidays. In fact, I think we're going to start having some contests in the new year so users can share these stories. This one I'll read to you is from Ashley in Delaware. And she said, 2 of my girlfriends and I went to New York City for a few days after Christmas, and I wanted to tell you how much we loved using Nexit in the city. Of course, when we were walking around the city, we all wanted different things. One of my friends wanted a Subway for lunch. Our other friend only drinks Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I needed a pharmacy because I had forgotten to pack my blood pressure machine, and I wanted to get some chapstick. So we were able to search for all of these places at the same time, and Nexit was able to show us where they all 3 were side by side. It's those little things that make a big difference, and we were able to use Nexit to our advantage while walking around the city.
Any other good stories before we wrap up, Randy?
Mark, we had some really good feedback on discovery. I'll share 2 quick ones with you.
Sure, yeah.
The first one is from Mary from Minnesota. And she writes, growing up in Minnesota, wintertime and the holidays brought lots of memories of childhood skating and pizza parties. One of our favorite pizza brands has been Godfather's Pizza, a popular brand in the Midwest throughout the 80s and 90s. When we were first married, my husband and I used to eat there every Friday night, and we've shared those stories with our kids over the years. But by the time we had a family of our own, the Godfather's Pizza brand was no longer to be found in Minnesota, at least in our area. I used to think about it from time to time. It really wasn't the pizza as much as the memories and what they meant to my husband and I. The kids grew a fondness for pizzas because of all of these stories we told them. So anyway, we're driving to visit relatives for Christmas, and we know the way, so we weren't really using any navigational product, but a friend had told us about Nexit and how they had used it to find cheapest gas. We were getting low, and I opened Nexit to compare and find the cheapest gas, and what did I see at an upcoming exit but a Godfather's Pizza? I'm so glad you showed not only the cheapest gas per exit, but a snapshot of what is all along the way. I couldn't believe there were still some open out there. It was great to relive that memory with my own kids. Still tasted just as great as I remembered, but it gave us a good dose of nostalgia to start the holidays.
That's great.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I like
story.
that.
The last one I'll tell you, this was totally different. This is from Andrew in Columbus, Ohio. He said, I just wanted to tell you about an interaction I had with Nexit, and I wasn't even using the app. I always make my own coffee in the office, and I was ready for a change. My wife and I were in the local Kroger's over the holidays, and I went to the coffee aisle to get a new brand for the office. There are not any Pete's coffee stores anywhere around here, and I had never even heard of Pete's. That is, and so I started using Nexit. I would see Pete's pop up on Nexit on my trips, so I was intrigued because I noticed that there are Pete's in a lot of other parts of the country. Well, Kroger's had Pete's, and I bought some, and I've been making it ever since, and I really like it. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Now, Mark, that was a new one on us, but we're very happy to help in any way we can.
That's great. That's about branding, right?
Absolutely.
And because you were showing where the Pete's locations were, and he saw it, and he remembered it when he was at Kroger's. That's really cool. Hey, Randy, thanks for sharing those stories. That's great, because we haven't done that before in all the times we've talked about Nexit. So it's nice to hear directly from your customers. And with that in mind, how do people get going? It's a free download, as I mentioned, right, from the Apple App Store?
It's a free download in the iOS App Store for iPhone and iPad, and Android is coming soon. We're working hard on it as we speak.
Okay, so Nexit is Nexit. You could also go to nexit.app in your favorite web browser if you want to read a little bit more up on it, but I would just go ahead and download it, completely free to use. Thanks so much for your time, Randy, and I look forward to chatting with you throughout 2022. All the best.
Thank you, Mark. Great to be with you.
And great to be with you, our Tech It Out listeners. Thank you for tuning into the program. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for a fresh new episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.